The night sky is alive, not silent, not still, but unfolding in ways both rare and extraordinary. Between September 27th and 28th, the universe is offering us a spectacle unlike anything we have seen this month. Two distant stars, each in its own corner of the galaxy, are bursting into novas, sudden explosions of light that travel across space for thousands of years before finally reaching us now. At the very same time, our moon, familiar and steady, drifts across the heavens and slips in front of Antares, the great red heart of the Scorpion. For a few moments, that ancient star will vanish from sight, concealed by the moon's glow, only to reappear again as if reborn. Astronomy tells us this is coincidence. Novas flare when their fuel ignites. The moon's orbit is predictable. Antares will vanish and return exactly as the mathematics say it will. Yet, when such rare events overlap, when cycles converge in the sky, the human heart reacts differently. We do not just see points of light and shadows of orbit, we see patterns. We sense timing, we feel meaning. It is as if the universe is speaking in a language we can't quite explain, but instinctively understand. Think of the novas. Not stars dying forever, but stars in transformation, shedding energy, scattering elements that may one day give rise to new worlds. Endings and beginnings woven into the same burst of brilliance. Think of the moon's occultation of Antares, concealment, silence, return. A rhythm of loss and renewal that mirrors the cycles we live through in our own lives. Science explains the mechanics, but it is symbolism that gives us pause, that stirs something deeper. These nights are a reminder that we too are part of this story. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the oxygen in our lungs, all were forged in stars that once exploded long before Earth was born. To witness novas is to witness the process that made life itself possible. To see the moon veil and unveil Antares is to be reminded that light does not disappear, it only waits. The sky is not sending us a message, yet we are free to read one. And perhaps the message is simple, that change is constant, renewal is inevitable, and wonder is always available to those who look up. So as September 27th and 28th arrive, step outside for a moment. Let your eyes search the sky. Know that far away, two ancient stars are blazing their story into the night. Know that the moon is crossing paths with a giant whose destiny is one day to explode in brilliance far greater than we can imagine. And let yourself feel what those alignments stir in you. Not superstition, not fear, but wonder. A reminder that you are made of the same matter, part of the same unfolding, inseparable from the cosmos above. For just these 2 nights, the universe has arranged a rare convergence. 2 novas, 1 moon, 1 giant star hidden and revealed. Science may call it coincidence, but in your heart, it may feel like a gift. Imagine looking up at the night sky and realizing that the universe is not just silent and still, but alive with movement, change, and events so extraordinary that they echo across time and human imagination. Between September 27th and September 28th, something rare and deeply fascinating is happening above us. The sky is not only hosting the usual dance of the moon and the planets, but 2 separate stars, distant suns light years away, are undergoing explosive transformations known as novas. At the same time, our moon is reaching a powerful alignment point with one of the brightest stars in our sky. For astronomers, this moment is rich with data and wonder. For seekers of meaning, it feels like a cosmic convergence, a symbol that reminds us of how everything, from the life cycles of stars to the quiet rhythm of our own lives, is connected by invisible threads. The story of these two nights is both scientific and symbolic. On one level, it is about astrophysics, light curves, stellar explosions, and orbital alignments. On another level, it is about how humans experience awe, how we project meaning onto the cosmos, and how celestial events can remind us to pause, reflect, and recalibrate our own inner worlds. So tonight, let's take a journey, not only through the facts of these nova events and the moon's occultation, but through the layers of symbolism and gentle spirituality that naturally arise when we look to the stars. First, let us begin with the nova phenomenon. When we say a star has exploded, most people immediately think of a supernova, the catastrophic death of a massive star, leaving behind a black hole or a neutron star. But novas are different. A nova is not the end of a star's life, but a sudden outburst of energy from a binary star system. Typically, a white dwarf, the dense remnant of a once normal star, orbits in close proximity to a companion star. Over time, it steals gas from that companion, usually hydrogen, which accumulates on its surface. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you. Eventually, the pressure and temperature on the white dwarf's surface rise to the point where nuclear fusion ignites explosively. The result? The star suddenly brightens, often by many magnitudes, becoming visible in the night sky to the naked eye, even if it was previously too faint to notice. This September, astronomers and skywatchers have reported not one, but two such novas gracing our night skies. Each of these stars is thousands of light-years away, yet their light has traveled across the void of space to reach our eyes just now, in this very moment of human history. It's worth pausing to reflect on that. The explosions themselves did not happen yesterday in cosmic terms. They happened centuries or even millennia ago, but the photons, the tiny packets of light released in those events, are only now arriving on Earth. So when we say the stars are exploding tonight, what we really mean is, tonight we finally receive the evidence of their distant and ancient outburst. This alone carries a quiet spiritual reminder. What happens far away, long ago, can ripple across time and eventually reveal itself in the present. For astronomers, these novas are exciting because they give us a chance to study the physics of binary systems, thermonuclear runaways, and galactic chemistry. Every nova contributes material back into the interstellar medium, the cosmic clouds from which new stars and planets eventually form. In other words, the death throes of one system provide the building blocks of future worlds. From a symbolic perspective, that cycle feels familiar. Endings feeding new beginnings, destruction seeding creation, collapse giving way to renewal. What makes this period so unusual is the two novas have appeared within weeks of each other, both visible from Earth. That alone is rare. The universe is vast, and novas are not everyday occurrences in our skies. For two of them to become visible around the same time is a statistical anomaly that astronomers and enthusiasts alike are savoring. It is as if the cosmos is staging a double performance, inviting us to look up and take notice. Now, do these two novas truly peak at the exact same moment, September 27th to 28th? Scientifically, nova brightness can fluctuate. They can brighten, plateau, and slowly fade over days or weeks. So, to be precise, their peaks are not perfectly synchronized like the ticking of a clock. But from our human vantage point, where we often compress events into symbolic windows of time, They overlap enough to feel like a shared crescendo. Just as in music, where two notes close together can form a harmony, so too do these stellar outbursts combine in our perception to create a moment of cosmic emphasis. When people speak of two exploding star energies peaking at once, it is not literal energy waves crashing into us. Those bursts of radiation are harmless to us at Earth's distance. What they are describing is a felt sense of convergence, a rare coincidence of visibility that draws attention to the sky. And in the human psyche, coincidences carry weight. They nudge us to look for patterns, to assign meaning, to ask, why now? Why together? What does this tell us? Whether we answer those questions scientifically or spiritually, the very act of asking connects us more deeply to the universe. Now let us turn our gaze closer to home, to Earth's own satellite. On September 27th, the Moon reaches what astronomers call an occultation point with Antares, the heart of the Scorpion in the constellation Scorpius. An occultation happens when the Moon passes directly in front of a star or planet, temporarily blocking it from view. From our perspective on Earth, it looks as though the star vanishes behind the Moon, only to reappear later. These events are fascinating for scientists because they allow precise measurements of lunar topography and stellar positions. For sky watchers, they are mesmerizing. A bright star flickering out as the Moon silently glides past. Antares itself is a significant star. It is a red supergiant, one of the largest visible to the naked eye, glowing with a reddish hue that has captivated human cultures for millennia. Its very name means rival of Mars because of its similar coloration. To see the Moon align with Antares is to witness a dialogue between two powerful lights in the night sky, our closest celestial neighbor and one of the galaxy's colossal elders. The term activation point is often used in spiritual or astrological contexts, suggesting that such alignments act as triggers for energy, awareness, or transformation. Scientifically, the activation is a matter of geometry and orbital mechanics, but symbolically, we can allow ourselves to feel the significance. The Moon, which pulls our tides and subtly influences our rhythms, covering and uncovering the heart of the Scorpion, a star whose fate is to one day explode in a true supernova. It is as if the cosmos is giving us a brief preview of concealment and revelation, disappearance and return. So here we are, two novas lighting up distant skies and the Moon sweeping across Antares, all converging in the span of 2 days. To the rational mind, these are unrelated phenomena. The novas are many light years away, their timings independent of our Moon's motion. There is no causal link. Yet, to the human imagination, they form a story. And stories are how we make sense of the universe. When multiple rare events coincide, we naturally stitch them together into a narrative, and that narrative often centers on themes of transformation, awakening, and alignment. From a scientific perspective, this convergence invites us to marvel at probability and coincidence. From a symbolic perspective, it encourages us to pause and ask, what in my own life is peaking? What is being revealed or concealed? What cycles of destruction and renewal are unfolding within me? These are not scientific questions, but they are meaningful ones. They remind us that we too are part of the cosmos. Our bodies are made of the same atoms forged in ancient stars. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the oxygen we breathe, all of it was created in stellar furnaces long before Earth was born. When stars explode, they distribute these elements into space, seeding the possibility of life. So when we witness novas, we are, in a sense, witnessing the process that made us possible. That is both humbling and awe-inspiring. For millennia, humans have watched the skies and woven meaning into celestial events. Ancient cultures tracked the movements of stars and planets not just for navigation or agriculture, but for spiritual insight. Eclipses, comets, novas, and occultations were often seen as omens, messages, or portents. Today, we understand the mechanics behind them, yet the urge to find meaning has not left us. And perhaps that is natural. Science explains the how, but it does not erase the why we feel moved. Standing under a sky where two novas burn and the moon occludes a giant star, we cannot help but feel small, yet also deeply connected. In the quiet of these nights, we might allow ourselves to contemplate renewal. Just as novas burn bright and then fade, so too do moments of intensity in our lives give way to quieter phases. Just as the moon hides Antares only to reveal it again, so too do truths in our lives sometimes vanish, only to resurface later. These are not mystical proclamations, but metaphors. And metaphors are powerful because they bridge the gap between cosmic events and personal experience. So, as September 27th and 28th unfold, take a moment to step outside, look up, and let your eyes wander across the heavens. If you are fortunate enough to be in a location where the novas are visible, see if you can catch their light. If you can observe the moon's passage near Antares, watch closely as the star blinks out and returns. But even if clouds obscure your view, know that these events are happening nonetheless, silently and majestically above us. The sky does not need our eyes to perform its wonders, but our eyes need the sky to remind us of wonder. In the end, what we are witnessing is both ordinary and extraordinary. Ordinary because stars have been exploding and the moon has been crossing the sky for billions of years. Extraordinary because it is happening now to us in our shared moment of history. The convergence of two novas and a lunar occultation is not a message written for humanity, but humanity is free to read it as a message nonetheless. And perhaps the message is simple, that the universe is vast, cycles are constant, and yet every rare alignment invites us to remember our place in the grand tapestry of existence. We are not separate from the stars. We are their children, their echoes, their ongoing experiment. So when you look up on these nights, let yourself feel both the science and the symbolism. Let yourself marvel at the physics of stellar explosions and orbital alignments, while also opening to the quiet whisper of meaning they stir within you. And when the novas fade and the moon moves on, carry that wonder with you into your own life, your own cycles of change, your own moments of concealment and revelation. For the cosmos above is not just a spectacle, it is a mirror reflecting back the story of who we are.